thing that I have promised you throughout this offseason is that I'd share a season prediction as we got closer to Cincinnati. We're getting really, really close to Cincinnati, and I'm starting to feel it. Good morning to you. Good Monday morning. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports. This is Daily Shot of Pirates. It comes your way bright and early every weekday if you're into football and or hockey. I also offer daily shots of Steelers and Penguins that I hope you'll check out. Thursday is the 137th opener for the Pittsburgh Baseball Club at Great American Ballpark in the only city where opening day is legitimately capitalized because it's an actual holiday for what I hope would be obvious reasons for those of you who love the game as I do. The Pirates are only, I believe it's 10 players away right now from having a roster ready to fly out of Bradenton. And we're really, really close to reducing my number of excuses for putting off a season prediction. But I feel like it's warranted. I'm not a big fan of season predictions or predictions of any kind. It's not something that I think is even a part or should be a part of sports reporting or sports writing. This is stuff that gamblers do. However, it also represents 99% of all the questions that I get asked. What do you think is going to happen with this? What do you think is going to happen with that? As opposed to the stuff that reporters are genuinely good at, which is, why did this thing that already happened happen? But I, for the most part, will play along. The other reason beyond that I don't like doing predictions with this team in particular is that however you feel about that opening day roster means nothing. You can make that kind of prediction for the Yankees and the Dodgers and other teams that you know are going to be kept together over the course of a summer. What you can't account for is getting to the trade deadline, being 35 games below 500, and then everyone, from management to the fan base agrees that the best thing you could possibly do is sell pieces off from prospects. Well, then your record nosedives. So whatever your prediction was for the opening day roster, it goes to hell in a handbasket. So let me start with what I feel is the most significant prediction for 2023. And that's that Andrew McCutchen will not be traded. There is no circumstance, I believe, under which he'd be traded. Kutch has come to Pittsburgh to come home to finish out his career. That has been my understanding from Bob Nutting, from Kutch, from everyone involved. This was not done as some sort of let's build up some value and then move him for some double-A lefty. I also don't believe, and I say this respectfully, that you'd get a ton for him. Even if Kutch were to show old form, he's 36 years old. He would be a pure rental, obviously. So put that one out of your head. That's at least one component to this roster where you can feel like, all right, that player's going to be here all year and should be here all year. Rich Hill, now we're starting to get a little bit warm here. If the Pirates were really, really out of it, Hill is a guy, a lefty, a veteran who's pitched in every imaginable scenario, AL East, everywhere. He can do anything. And if somebody pays the right price for him, yeah, of course you move him. Of course. Should that disrupt your season record significantly? No, not really. Not really. G-Man Choi, Carlos Santana. How about Austin Hedges if and when the young catchers arrive? See, this is where it gets a little bit different. Those guys, yes, of course, you would put them on the table in the circumstance that the Pirates are completely, absurdly out of it, which is never out of the question with this franchise. But the difference is that there will be players to replace pretty much everybody I've just mentioned. Now, there's not a whole lot going on at first base, but if one goes, the other can, meaning if Santana goes, Choi can be the guy that takes care of the position the rest of the way, or vice versa. Okay, depending on who would be more in demand, who can get you the better trade relief. But if Hedges is replaced by Andy Rodriguez or Henry Davis, nobody's really going to be expecting much in the way of a backward step. If Hill or another veteran starter were to go, whether it's Vince Velasquez or J.T. Brubaker or whoever, then you're going to be replacing them almost certainly with Quinn Priester or Mike Burrows or Luis Ortiz. And you'll probably be getting better. So the best and most encouraging thing I can offer toward the 2023 season right now, is that the team that you're going to get Thursday in Cincinnati isn't going to be, for the first time in a long time, as good as the one you're going to see in all likelihood later in the year. So even setting aside silly, meaningless predictions, that all by itself should represent a nice stride for the franchise. It really should. I'm not making light of it. I swear. This having prospects knocking at the door for real is where this was supposed to have been headed for quite a while now. It's taken longer than anybody would like. It's getting there. When we come back, J1Q. This portion of Daily Shot of Pirates is brought to you by our friends at North Shore Tavern. That's directly across Federal Street from PNC Park. It's home of Steak on a Stone, an eating experience, underscoring the word experience. The steak is brought to you partially cooked on an 800-degree stone, and you do the rest. It's a ton of fun, it's a great meal, and it's a baseball atmosphere like no other in Pittsburgh. North Shore Tavern, right across Federal Street from PNC Park. Today's J1Q comes from Randy, who's one of many to send something similar, only Randy's was the funniest of them. He says, "Dang, DK, Monday morning? My friend, get some sleep. We're worrying about you." Okay. So I opened up the Friday show by saying, "Good Monday morning," when in fact it was Friday, which would lead one to believe that either I've been trapped in stasis for weeks and have no idea what day, time, week, month, year it is. And I can't rule all that out, given how occupied I keep myself generally. But no, all that happened was I misspoke, was unaware of it, and then everybody went out of their way to point it out. That's fine. It does afford me the opportunity to share with you how much I'm looking forward to baseball season, because there's nothing that throws off my senses of such stuff the way baseball does. In Bradenton, there's forever been a terminology among the people who are around the team every day, including a lot of people within the team, that every day is Tuesday. Every day is Tuesday. Why? Because every day feels like any other in spring training. You don't have variations on the times that the events are occurring the way you do in the regular season. 7:05 game, 7:05 game, and then there's a 12:35 matinee, or there's a 1:35 Sunday game. But you have a rhythm that's developed. In the spring, there's nothing other than just walking blindly through it. And on those many occasions where I would spend the bulk of spring down there with the Pirates, I would wake up not knowing, not just where I was, because that happens to anybody who travels a lot. You guys know what I'm talking about. But I wouldn't know when I was. Like, I would just get up and look around and say, what? And the other part of it that was annoying, and I don't care who makes fun of me for this, but was that the weather was just always the same. And if you're like me and you grew up blissfully, I might add, in the North, where we have actual seasons and we have different types of days, different looking days that allow you to have a different mood, just to mix things up a little bit, And you know what I'm talking about. There's a really good thunderstorm or rain, and you're just feeling like this is the right day to just sit in here and watch it rain. That's what and you embrace it and you love it. That's me. Waking up every day and seeing the same thing outside the window, the same time of day, and the same people waving to you, and the same traffic, and the same whatever. Bring on baseball. Bring on actual, real 162 game baseball that's played in real cities with, real live character and stuff, and real live different changing weather and everything that's normal about life. I am not citing any of this, mind you, as an excuse, since I haven't spent nearly enough time in Bradenton this year to say that had anything to do with my bringing up Monday morning on a Friday morning. But I'm just sharing that part of it. There's something about A, a lack of baseball, and B, baseball, where the second that just makes so much more sense, I appreciate the question, or whatever that was. I appreciate everybody listening. The Daily Shot of Pirates. We'll do another one of these tomorrow.